It's time to put aside everything else. Get your blanket, pick up a cup of chai, bring along your friends and family from offline and online, or just come with your curiosity. And let us gather around the bonfire, listen to some stories, hear about books or films, chat up with a visiting guest, and sing along with melodies. I am Deepakiran. I travel around the world telling stories woven with music and dance. I train teachers on how to teach using storytelling, and I also share my thoughts on platforms such as TEDx Talks. It is a delight to invite you into my world of art, expression, and heart-to-heart connection. Tune in every alternate Thursday on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. By the Bonfire with Deepa. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of By the Bonfire with Deepa. Once again, you can look forward to a story, a sharing about a film, and a conversation with Meera Swaroop, early childhood educator, teacher trainer, and parent coach. And we end with a song by Swagat Shivakumar. Come, come, listen, listen, everybody. Just for you I have a story. There lived an affluent farmer, but a troubled man. He approached Gautama Buddha with great hope. Prostrating before the sage, he said, "O Venerable One, I have a major problem and I know only you can help me." Buddha kept quiet and the man went on. "My son is such a good for nothing, troubling me, and added to that, my wife supports him. Please do something so their minds change and they realize how much I'm doing for them." "I cannot solve this problem for you," Buddha replied and lowered his eyes. The farmer told Buddha, "I'm worried about my upcoming harvest and the weather also doesn't seem too favorable. Monkeys are destroying my crops." "I can't help you with this one either," Buddha said calmly. Still, having faith in the powers of the Buddha, the man continued, "Many people owe me money and I'm having such a hard time recovering it. I also owe money to the lenders and creditors. If you could give me some remedies, some amulet." "I cannot solve this problem for you," said the Buddha. "What good are you then? Everyone says you're the enlightened one, and here you can't solve any of my problems. Is there absolutely nothing you can do? I'm tired of my terrible life." "You see," said Buddha patiently, as if he hadn't heard the man's tirade at all. "You see, at any point in time, you'll always have 84 problems in your life. The 84th is the key. If you solve the 84th problem, the first 83 will resolve themselves." "Please solve my 84th problem then," the man said, going back to being humble. "And how do I do it?" he added. "First, we have to identify your 84th problem." What is my 84th problem?" Buddha smiled and peered deeply into the man's eyes that were full of desire, doubt, and anxiety. "Your 84th problem is," said the Buddha, "that you want to get rid of the first 83 problems." An oft repeated story from the life of Gautama Buddha. And from that story about the inevitability of problems in life, we move to a film that brought out this very same idea, the need to reconcile with the inevitable, to reconcile for making our own peace. It's a film that I was introduced to as a child by my father and watched it many times over simply because Appa loved watching it. Appa loved singing the songs and repeating the dialogues, so they are a part of the family culture. A film that released in 1971, a Hindi film, co-written and directed by Rishikesh Mukherjee. The screenplay, dialogues, and lyrics of some of the songs as well were given by Gulzar and music composed by Salil Chaudhary. If some of you have guessed it by now, yes, it is the film Anand, where Rajesh Khanna and Amitabh Bachchan came together and gave one of the biggest box office hits, which also was a film that won the critics' heart. It won awards, Filmfare Awards, and many others. The story of a terminally ill man is not a new story, but the treatment is what makes this endearing. One that you would like to go back to sometimes. The genre being drama, of course, there is a lot of drama in the film. And yet, it is endearing to watch the encounters between this young, dying man who wishes to spread joy to the world, joy in the lives of whomever he meets, and the disillusioned young doctor, overwhelmed with poverty and sickness and a sense of despair. The songs in the film, like कहीं दूर जब दिन ढल जाए or मैंने तेरे लिए ही 7 रंग के सपने चुने, or another favorite which is about life itself, जिंदगी कैसी है पहेली हाय. These songs won the hearts of many, and so did the dialogues like जहां पना जिंदगी और मौत ऊपर वाले के हाथ में है. Life and death is in the hands of him above. Well, it's a film about the spirit of life itself, about anxieties, about despair. And to me, it is a film about different perspectives. Very close to my heart, as I have watched it many times. And those of you who have watched it, I hope this reminds you of Anand. And those who haven't, you might want to watch the Rishikesh Mukherjee's 1971 Hindi film Anand. From that sharing about one of the films I've enjoyed, I am happy to invite our guest for today, Meera Swaroop, a passionate educator with expertise in early childhood education, a teacher trainer, parent coach, and calls herself a lifelong curious learner. She has projects called The Happy Family, a positive parenting program, and post-pandemic has designed a unique play-based experiential home learning program for children in the age group of 2 to 6 years. Through the program, she supports parents with activity ideas which they can easily implement and take active part in their child's learning and education. She also has an early years home learning program, and both of these are available in an online version as well. I'm delighted to welcome Meera Swaroop to By the Bonfire with Deepa. Welcome, Meera.
Thank you, Deepa. It's a great opportunity to interact with you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, I'm delighted to have you here as well, and looking forward to a nice, engaging discussion about parenting, about early child learning, things that we love to discuss and talk about.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So tell me, I know that when you completed your class 12, so way back in 2004, you had an option to go for a regular course in a regular institution, which would end up with a degree and a certificate that you could have. But on the
Yes,
other hand, you chose to go for this course, which was at Mirambika, a course that was not going to give you a degree.
yeah,
So
yeah.
tell us more about that. What is the course and what made you choose that option?
Yeah, so yeah, I finished my intermediate, and actually I was the school topper in commerce stream,
Mm-hmm.
and there were many options for me. You know, like since childhood, as far as I could remember, I was passionate to be with little kids and spend time with children. And teaching has been a passion for me since I was a kid. I used to pretend play as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So when a choice came to me on what should I do, a normal course that gets me a degree and a regular job and a settled life, a so-called settled life, or do something which I love to do or which I would know I would enjoy doing it. So when that choice came, it was not an immediate decision. You know, like everybody at that age, I was also totally confused. My father, I asked him, what do you suggest? What should I do?
Mm-hmm.
Whether go for this teacher training in Mirambika or do a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I saw about this teacher training course in a magazine, and the wordings were, if you love to teach. So it started from there. And
Mm-hmm.
that was something which stuck me because that was me.
Yeah.
What my father told was, see, don't go with our words only.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ask other people also, but at last you choose what you want. And that's how I ended up choosing this course. And this course is a residential program, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't give you a formal degree, but it does helps us to become the teacher that every child would love to have.
I know that you have no regrets. Rather, you give a lot of credit that it built the foundation for where you are today.
Ye-
As per your qualifications, today you have a master's in English literature, you have a BA degree, and you're currently pursuing MSc in psychology.
Yes, yes, Deepa. Yeah.
All this through the distance mode.
Yes, all my higher education through distance mode.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And IGNOU is a good space for the master's in English literature. It's one of the best programs.
Yes. Yes, I have done with Kakatiya University as well, and I still have those books of IGNOU. They
Right.
are beautiful study materials. Yeah.
Yeah. And coming back to the course, the program that you did at Mirambika in New Delhi,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of your projects was Stories for Children by Children.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
us something more about it.
Yeah, but before going to talk about the project also, like it would be nice if I can share about how that program itself was structured.
Yeah, sure.
It was a 3 years residential one,
Hmm.
and we teacher trainees were the teachers at a pilot school. The name
Mm-hmm.
of the school is also called Mirambika,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that school was based on alternative education ideas
Hmm.
and deeply rooted in the philosophy of integral education of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. I should say, like an exposure into each and every aspect of life,
Hmm.
because there is a very wonderful quotation of Sri Aurobindo. He says, all life is yoga, to know oneself and to control oneself
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is one of the highest aims a person can have in life. So the first year was completely like an exposure where we got to paint, we got to study different books, we got to interact with so many different people. We did theater workshops, we did storytelling workshops, pottery, carpentry. The teacher training itself prepared us as teachers to become a learner first.
Right.
and engage in that immersive learning experience where you take up something and then you do it for the sake of joyfully doing it.
Right.
We did a weaving course also,
Mm-hmm.
and I should say that was such a relaxing experience, such a deep meditative experience, I should say.
Right.
Wonderful mentors, studies, discussions, debates, and all that. And in between all this, we were also like engaged to observe the other teachers. So this was happening in the first year, and second and third years, like
Mm.
we were teaching as teachers. We were taking care of a group of 20 children,
Mm.
and in Mirambika, there is no particular curriculum. It's an open ended approach
Mm.
where together you start an academic year by looking at the children, asking children what and all they all want to learn that year, taking a note of that,
Mm.
and based on the observation of the earlier class diyas, like the teachers are called as diyas, didis and bhaias,
Mm.
and put together as diyas, that also represents lamp.
Lamp, lamp. Okay.
So whatever the diyas had told us about those kids, there used to be a detailed reporting that diyas used to do at the end of the year or during the year.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at those reportings also, we used to come up with I should say, an yearly goal and an individual goal for the whole class.
Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
when I chose to work with the blue group children, the 5 years age group children, the earlier class Diya told like this group loves telling stories. There was another Diya with me called Rashmita. So we both decided, let us explore this aspect with this group. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how it happens. Every year, a teacher explores something, immerses into something. They go into an journey of exploration.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And we used to like when children were playing, we used to sit beside them.
Okay.
It's a free sandpit play, you can call. They used to do these stories and all that, cook up stories on what they were playing. So it started from there. We used to
Mm.
record them.
Huh. So these recordings, if I remember right, they are mobile audio recordings. They're not video recordings.
There was this I would say a Walkman kind of a short recorder with a cassette which you have to put and record.
The same one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we used to audio record it, like put a cassette and then record it. And that, with those pictures of whatever children have played, and we used to take snapshots in our cameras.
I believe you actually made books.
We didn't plan to do that way, but when we had so many stories together, then our mentor Sulochana Didi and
Mm-hmm.
Shrila Didi, so they suggested why not we make it as a book and publish it as stories made by children for children.
Right.
So that is how this project was conceptualized, and then we
Mm-hmm.
made beautiful storybooks. There was a topic on cycling
Hmm.
because children started learning cycling. They were
Hmm.
just 4 years, 5 year olds. On cycles, we made stories, we made poems.
Acha.
What special powers you want your cycle to have? We just put a open-ended question like that, and children came up with their own stories. So that's how we created such wonderful storybooks with children.
That is something that you shared last month when I'd invited you to the teacher training program for the Tibetan refugee NGO teachers. It literally opened up their mind to the idea that we do not have to give ready-made art to the children that they just fill up and color,
Hmm.
but children can be the source of the art itself. That's
Yes.
something they literally took back from your session.
Yeah,
Really
we should have such storybooks also, completely made by children with their illustrations. It would be
amazing.
great to see such
Hmm.
books in the market as well.
In fact, in the book Teacher and the Child's Language
Hmm.
by Dr. Krishna Kumar, erstwhile director, NCERT,
Okay.
he mentions that the best first books for a child is his
Hmm.
or her own stories that are collated and given back as a book.
Yes. yes, very true. I've seen that. Like when they used to make these books, and when the
Mm.
books came out, it was so happy to see children looking at their friends' books more than their books. They were like joyful to look at how their friends' books look.
Beautiful. So I hear that what it introduced you, as you said, life is yoga. So yoga, as I see in the broader term, is a passionate pursuit, a dedicated pursuit, if I hear you right.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Deepa.
So
Yeah,
there was not only, pursuing education, there was pottery, there was weaving, and there were so many aspects of life, its beauty, its craft, that were woven into your program. And that's
yes,
something that I've seen for you is a spillover in the way you live your life itself. No wonder that you chose to homeschool both your daughters.
yes, yes, yeah.
And it's always exciting to hear the latest episodes that happened. Like, I think there was an episode that brought out a discussion on slavery.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us something about that.
She was participating in some little mock quiz kind of thing.
Hmm.
And yeah, she came up, like there was a question in the quiz where, what do you think about slavery?
Hmm.
And there were three options, and that word was so new. Mahati is like, now she's 9 years old, and
Hmm.
she was little like taken aback with those three options, whatever were there. But later we had a long discussion. She was asking me what is slavery,
Hmm.
and how can people control others. That was her surprising thing. How can people control others?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there are such occasions where, like, whatever they hear, whatever they experience, whatever we read together, um, we just go into open-ended conversations, and that's how learning keeps happening. There is no specific time that we study or something.
Hmm, 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 hmm. Yeah, I hear you. You also talk about how, apart from doing things as a parent, how it's equally important to let the child be.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. This is something which came as a natural thing to me when my elder kid was born.
Hmm,
Like I still remember when she was like 3, 4, 5 months and all.
hmm,
Um, Majority of the times when I used to be with her,
hmm,
I just used to just sit beside her and then just observe and then see what she's looking, what she's holding, how she's kicking her feet, and then I just used to be there and then just observe and then make sure that I'm present there with her.
hmm,
And my mom, and then there were others who used to tell, no, you should engage her, you should talk to her a lot, you should show her so many things, you should do these rattles, you know,
hmm,
rattle sound and all that. That is how she will grow, she will learn. But
hmm,
I used to deeply feel that, you know, more than everything, like more than our outer exposures, children need just our presence with them and just be there and create that kind of environment where they can get into a natural exploration, and
hmm.
they grow up fine. They grow up fine. Yeah, I keep telling in my webinars and in my teacher trainings this thing, that we think that parenting is like sculpturing. We think that we need to do something to make our kids or to bring them up in such and such a way,
Mhm.
but it's the other way around. Parenting or a child's growth is like you plant a seed, you create that environment, and then you just observe. The
Right.
plant takes whatever it needs, the sunlight, the water, the
Hmm.
minerals, and then it just blossoms, it just
Hmm.
grows.
Hmm.
That's what our children also need.
A
Yeah.
nurturing space.
A
Nurturing.
nurturing space, yeah.
This is reminding me of a quotation, or a statement rather, that Professor Curtis Kelly made. He's a person who's doing a lot of work in neuroscience, brain, and language and learning. And he was asked one advice that you have for teachers. And he
Okay.
said, teachers, forget yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
Perhaps even in parenting,
Yeah.
it seems to spill over as a valid suggestion.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, we need to wander along with kids actually. Take
Hmm.
part in whatever it is curious for them, and then
Hmm.
be participative. That's all they need. Like go along in their journey wherever they want to go.
Yeah, like you were talking about how one project that three of you were doing together, you and your daughters, was reading the book The Dot That Ran Away.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and I could hear excitement in your voice every time you spoke about the book. It's a book for the children, but you were equally, you were as much enjoying the reading with them.
Yes, I remember one incident while reading that book. It's a
Hmm.
nice book. Like every parent must read that book for their kids. A dot
Hmm.
that went for a walk.
Ah, okay.
It's a
Okay.
book about a collection of women leaders or successful women, I should say.
Hmm.
So some
Hmm.
100 collection of stories of them.
Acha.
And initially, like the first sentence, it started like, tell me the names of people who inspire you a lot, especially women who inspire you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was asking my kids the first day, like, in women who inspires you?
Hmm.
And I was like surprised to listen when they said it's Deepa auntie. My little one said Deepa auntie, and the elder one also said, yes, 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 Deepa auntie. We love her stories. Yeah,
How sweet.
we want to become somebody like her because you have been always a wonderful influence, inspiration for my children.
And I love listening to them and their views.
Yeah,
I remember about the slavery thing you said that both of them had a discussion that oh no, nobody can own another human being.
yeah.
Animals, it's okay. And then your elder daughter said, no, not even animals. Nobody can own anything else. And you were just sitting and just listening to them like you were listening to two other adults.
Yes, yes. No. Yeah.
And as I understand, all of this rich learning, this experience, also with running your school, Samskriti Kids Preschool for Children in Varangal, your rich experience with Mirambika, the experiments, literally, as I could call it, that you have done in bringing up your children with a fearless curiosity, that has been, I would imagine, the material, the basis for what you designed, the program, the home learning curriculum for parents that you created as a response, especially to the pandemic situation.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
and of course, you were also seeing the gap in maybe in terms of knowledge. Because at one level, there are people who believe that parenting is natural. What is there to learn or to teach or for anyone else to tell us? But as I understand, your program is suggestive, is giving the options, laying out a more reflective parenting pathway.
Yes. Yes, Deep. Why we chose to do parenting, like myself and my husband, we both do this happy family positive parenting program.
Hmm.
Like it came out with our own experiences also.
Hmm.
We were in the education sector before even our kid was born, but still when we had both the children and then when they were slowly turning to 4 5 year olds, all
Hmm.
these challenges started coming up.
Hmm.
And the disciplinary challenges, kids not listening to us and all that. So that
Hmm.
is when we felt the need to actually get into understanding kids also,
Hmm. Hmm.
understanding kids, and especially the disciplining part, how to go about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
that was something which was there. Even in the school also we used to face that. I should not say that, but majority what we see around is children are disciplined using blaming, shaming, and paining only,
Hmm. Hmm.
majority of the times.
Hmm.
And like this quotation, it struck me a lot when the moment I read it. It's a Jane Nelson's quotation, and she says like, where did we get the crazy idea that in order to make children do better, we must make them feel worse?
Hmm.
Even I used to do it sometimes, and that was something which which stuck me, and then I just went in depth into it.
Mm,
And
mm,
that was when we came up with this program where we wanted to help other parents also, so that they also get this I would say like this training, or they get this understanding and
mm,
start their journey with that understanding,
mm,
understanding
mm,
the child,
mm,
how child thinks. And
mm,
it's
mm,
like we are not there to control them, or we are not to tell them what is right or wrong, but just have a conversation, or put the problem before them, and then uh, try to find a solution together for that.
mm,
So that was something which has been happening in our home.
mm,
Anything, any small little challenge comes on our way,
mm,
we just put it out in front of our children and we listen to them. We ask
mm.
them for solutions, and children always have wiser solutions than we have. Like for I can just tell a recent example. Like my younger one, she likes to wake up late actually.
Mm,
She does that. And we used to, like, sometimes we used to think that at least when she has classes, or when she has something, she can wake up early. Like
mm,
they were doing this summer camp,
mm,
and even though she enrolled, she was still sleeping. So
mm,
we had this challenge. So we I just asked her, like, would you like why are you unable to wake up? The time was that we have you have committed for the summer camp, you wanted to join, you are enjoying it also,
mm,
but then why couldn't you wake up?
mm,
So for that, my younger one, she told that, see, I the problem with me is like, it's not about waking up in the morning. The
mm.
problem with me is I'm unable to go to sleep early at night.
Oh.
So if I sleep early at night, then maybe I can wake up early.
Yeah, she identified it clearly.
So like, we need not tell,
Mm,
we jump in and then we tell children
mm,
as
mm,
parents.
mm, mm,
But it's the other way around. Like every individual, we all are born with that, I would say, that ego, or that inner wisdom, which doesn't want others to tell us what we have to do.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
uh, and I deeply believe that parenting is all about controlling ourselves,
mm.
managing our own emotions, taking care of how we are, and automatically everything falls in place.
The this is reminding me of the book The Prophet by Khalil Gibran,
Yes.
where he talks about children, and he
Mhm.
says children do not come from you but through you.
Yes.
And it is like we are holding the bow and they are the arrow that's just
Mhm.
going to go off on its own arc. And we are today and they are tomorrow. So
Yes.
he gives all these metaphors, uh,
Yes, that's a
to remind us.
wonderful read, that whole book. Yeah. And I remember getting this learning in my Rambika days also. Like there was a session where I had to do a storytelling with children. I decided that I would tell a story to the kids.
Hmm.
And that was one of my first interactions that I was going to have with a group of kids as a teacher. And I sat in front of those 20 kids, and I started introducing the story. And after 2 3 minutes, I could see like nobody were ready to listen. They all got scattered, and I was calling them because I was wanting to finish, or I was wanting to share what I had prepared. So
Hmm.
that was happening. And I really felt so disappointed. And then I went to my mentor, and then I shared that this is what happened today. She asked me one thing. Tell me, what was your state of mind when you entered the class? Were you centered? If you
Hmm.
had been centered, children would have also been along with you. The
Hmm.
vibration that you carry, it matters a lot.
Hmm.
So that is something that has stayed with me a lot, especially with children. Even in the school where I work, I keep telling teachers, once you come to the school, at least take some 5-10 minutes to center yourself,
Hmm.
align yourself, and then
Hmm.
you start the day. Because that is the mood that we set up, the vibration that we set up.
Hmm. Hmm. And
And it's the same with parenting also.
hmm.
See, if we want a child to behave well, and then if we get angry, and if we we lose control on ourselves, then how can we become that example to children?
Yeah, end of it all, being centered, that's something I'll carry back. The value of being centered, perhaps even beyond being a parent, beyond being a teacher, just for ourselves, the reminder to be centered. And I guess coming back, to where we started about your Mirambika, you were able to see yourself. You took that time to get clarity, to clearly see, what is it you wanted to do, starting right there in 2004. And it's been such an interesting, beautiful journey to where you are today.
Yes.
And I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Uh, and I know that you're creating even a community of people, right, who can support each other through your courses, through the home learning assignments and different things. So
Mm.
I'm really excited to see that grow. I'm really thankful that there is, this out there, this offering from you, from your husband Shanti. So I wish you best, and especially for both your programs, the Happy Family program, the Early Years Home Learning program. So where could our listeners find these programs, Meera? Would you like to tell them?
Yeah, these two are completely online programs where parents can access it from any of their devices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they are uploaded in a platform called Teachable.
Mm-hmm. Before we let you go, um, three quick questions. One of your favorite films.
A recent one that I saw was a movie Mara.
Another is a song that you like very much.
Okay, Moksha Shatakam, if I'm not wrong. I don't know the name, but I typically love this song, those lines. Manobudhyahankar Chitanaham. You know this one? Which
Nirvana Shatakam.
Nirvana Shatakam, yeah.
And one of your favorite books.
Yeah, book is um, Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
Richard Bach.
Richard, yeah, yeah.
So wonderful, wonderful, Meera. It was really nice having this lovely conversation with you.
Yes,
Yeah,
Deepa,
thank
always, always happy to talk with you. Yeah.
yeah, and looking forward to just seeing all the explorations that happen.
Yes, yes, sure.
Wish you best. Wish you best. Yeah. After that wonderful conversation with Meera Swaroop, we have one of Saint Poet Kabir's song presented by Swagat Shivakumar.
है जी 10 द्वार का पिंजड़ा हो जी यहाँ में पक्षी पवन है जी 10 द्वार का पिंजड़ा यहाँ में पक्षी पवन रहवे को अचरज होवे हे जात अचंभा कौन मन मन लागो मेरो यार फकीरी में लाको रे मेरो यार गरीबी में। जो सुख पावेगा राम भजन में, जो सुख पावेगा राम भजन में, जो सुख पावेगा राम भजन में, जो सुख पावेगा राम भजन में। जो सुख पावेगा राम भजन में, वो सुख नाही अमीरी में, वो सुख नाही अमीरी में। मन लाको मेरो यार फकीरी, मन लाको रे मेरो यार गरीबी। हाथ में तुम्बा बगल में सोटा, हाँ हाथ में तुम्बा बगल में सोटा, हाँ हाथ में तुम्बा बगल में सोटा, हाथ में तुम्बा बगल में, हाँ हाथ में तुम्बा बगल में सोटा। हाँ हाथ में तुम्बा बगल में सोटा, हे चार दिशा जागीरी में, चारों दिशा जागीरी में। मन लाको मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाको मेरो यार गरीबी में। हे जी कबीर तुहारा भला, जीतन जीतन ते संसार। हे जी कबीर तुहारा भला, जीतन दे संसार। जीते को जम ले जाएगा, जीते को जम ले जाएगा, हारा हरि के द्वार। हाँ भला बुरा सबका सुन लीजिए, हाँ भला बुरा सबका सुन लीजिए। हाँ क्यों फिरत मगरूरी में, हाँ क्यों फिरे मगरूरी में। मन लाको मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाको रे मेरो यार गरीबी में। कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहे कबीर सुनो रे मेरे साधो, हाँ कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, हाँ कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, हाँ साहिब मिलेगा सपूरी में, तेरा साहिब मिलेगा सबूरी में, मन लाको मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाको रे मेरो यार फकीरी में, हाँ प्रेम नगर में रहनी हमारी, हाँ प्रेम नगर में रहनी हमारी, प्रेम नगर में रहनी हमारी, भली बन आवे सबूरी में, भली बन आवे सबूरी में, मन लाको रे मेरो यार फकीर, मन लाको रे मेरो यार करीबी, मन लाको रे मेरो यार फकीरी, मन लाको रे मेरो यार करीबी, जो सुख पावेगा राम भजन में, जो सुख पावेगा राम भजन में, वो सुख नाही अमीरी में, वो सुख नाही अमीरी में, मन लाको रे मेरो यार फकीर में, मन लाको रे मेरो यार गरीबी में, मन लाको रे मेरो यार फकीर में।
On that melodious note, we come to the end of Season 1, Episode 2 of By The Bonfire with Deepa. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story from the life of Gautama Buddha, the 84th problem, and a peek into the Hindi film Anand. The conversation with Meera Swaroop, early childhood educator, teacher trainer and parent coach, and the song by Swagat Shivkumar. I'd like to thank everyone who's been a part of this podcast, and also thank you listeners for tuning in and for being with us. See you next time in By The Bonfire, Season 1, Episode 3. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.